Good evening, and welcome to another episode dedicated to art that challenges us, fascinates us, and, in many cases, forces us to see life a little differently. Today we're going to talk about a painting that, behind its apparent simplicity, hides an incredible intensity and a series of provocative questions. I'm talking about Bacchus by Michelangelo Merisi de Caravaggio, the great Italian painter of the Baroque era. Description of the table. Let's start with a quick look. The work was created around 1596. It is oil on canvas, and its dimensions are about 95 by 85 centimeters. It is now in the Galleria degli Uffizi in enchanting Florence. The painting depicts a young man, semi-naked, sitting on a simple surface with a dark and neutral background, as Caravaggio is accustomed to. He wears a white garment that falls loosely on his body. On his head, a wreath of vine leaves and grapes. In his hand, he holds a glass of wine, spread out towards the viewer, as if inviting us to drink with him. In front of him is a basket of fruits, grapes, pomegranates, apples, some in perfect condition, but some have begun to rot. Random, far from it. Hidden messages and allegories. What shines is not gold. And in Caravaggio, nothing is just what it seems. A glass of wine is not just an invitation to the feast. It is an invitation to temptation, a challenge to the senses. Remember, we are in the era of mannerism and the early Baroque. Everything is insinuating. Wine, life or death, pleasure or sin. Fruits, beautiful, but if you pay close attention to them, some begin to rot. Time passes. Beauty wears out. Life leaves. A vanitas, that is, a symbolism of the futility of existence, hidden in an innocent funeral supper. And Bacchus himself, is he the god of wine or just a teenage model, a little fragile, a little feminine? The way he holds the glass, his passive attitude, the offer of wine with an indeterminate look. Is it flirting? Is it naivety? Is it a challenge? Many historians have spoken of an androgynous aesthetic, of a depiction of desire, not only sexual, but existential. Caravaggio plays on the limits. Always. Who paid for this painting? Caravaggio, then young and relatively poor, lived in the court of Cardinal Francesco Maria del Monte. He was his first important patron, a man with a passion for the arts, musicians, philosophers, and the beautiful young people. The Bacchus was probably created as a work of private pleasure, perhaps to decorate a lounge, or even to be offered as a gift to the Medici. Yes, those of Florence. And this is what happened. In 1608, the work passed into the hands of Ferdinand da Medici, joining the family's famous collection. The fate of the painting and how it was discovered. Although today it is one of the most iconic works of the Uffizi, for years the painting was forgotten, literally. It was discovered in the museum's warehouses in 1913 and attributed to Caravaggio by the great art historian Roberto Loni, who identified the style, the technique, the light, all of which testify to the artist's signature. What do the experts say? The interpretations are many and varied. Let's listen to a few. Giovanni Baglione, Caravaggio's contemporary and at the same time his competitor, claimed that Caravaggio used a mirror to paint himself as Bacchus, which adds a layer of self-reference. That is, Caravaggio is both the creator and the object of desire. Food for thought. Donald Posner, 20th century. He emphasized the homoerotic dimension of the play, something that, without having evidence, remains a point of controversy. Mina Gregori sees in the painting the liberation of the senses and a worship of the body that escapes Christian barriers. Technique and lighting, Caravaggio's dark magic. And here we have another classic example of the chiaroscuro technique, that is, the strong contrast of light and dark. Light is not just natural. It is dramaturgical. It sculpts the flesh, it embraces the fruit. It creates an almost theatrical scene. It is as if we are in front of a performance, and the teenage god is ready to enchant us. What does this painting ultimately mean? Bacchus is not just a beautiful painting. It is a call to pleasure, but also a reminder of decay. It is a challenge, and at the same time a confession of weakness. It is a confession of human desire, a portrait of adolescence, a hymn to the ephemeral. Caravaggio, and this is his magic, managed to make everyday reality look like a myth, and the myth to seem hopelessly human. If you stand in front of Bacchus in Florence today, you won't just see a god of wine. You will see a young man with an ambiguous look, a moment frozen in time. You may wonder, does he enjoy? Suffers? What would we do in his place? And this, my friends, is the imprint of great art. It speaks to us 400 years later, without words, only with a look. And it asks us, what do you see?